let go of some of those songs.
I do.
So wait, when the basketball season ended, you've had AP
Top 25. I guess I'll wait.
You got it. Yeah, wait. It doesn't matter.
I don't want to talk to you twice. Sorry, that wasn't very positive of me.
No, it wasn't. Cheryl is disappointed in you. I know she's watching now. She's a fan for life. So disappointed in your negativity. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You're on. Do we even want to do this? Should we just go to like commercial break?
I don't know. Jacob put me on here, so we're going with it. What's up, everybody? We are here. It is Tuesday, January 21st. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. The Grizzlies win on MLK Day. An ugly win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll get into it all. Mike Wallace will join us to talk about the Big Three, the return of Gigi Jackson, and more. Former Memphis Tiger Will Coleman will join us about 40 minutes in to talk about the Tigers. They fell a bit in the AP Top 25, still in the Top 25 after going 1-1 this week in conference play. And then we'll do some TV Tuesday. The college football playoff national championship game was last night. It was a game, Ohio State, your national champions. I know that makes CJ just like that. We'll talk about what we are watching, SNL from this week, some good shows on the radar. It's a Tuesday. You know what we say. Anything?
Just go to break.
Okay. Just go to break.
No, it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing at FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, how does history move you?
Keep on talking, marching up to freedom now.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you.
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Good Tuesday, everybody. CJ?
What?
Before we get into the Grizzlies' MLK Day win, I want to thank last night's college football national championship game for giving me the courage to do the right thing, and that was press the off button when Ohio State went up 28-7. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. Do you know how rare that is? That never happens. And technically, my little ring told me it was 7 hours and 42 minutes, but we're rounding up. We're rounding up. That is close to 8. And I want to thank the college football national championship game for giving me what felt like at the time zero reason to keep the game on. I know Notre Dame came back, made it a game, kicked a field goal down 16 and missed it. But I was at peace. I was at peace knowing that I saw no signs that they could get to Will Howard for anything. And then I watched that highlight this morning of Jeremiah Smith, and choosing to play man coverage on Jeremiah Smith is certainly a choice. And Ohio State wins. They are your national championship. And I know, CJ, as a Michigan fan, that is tough. As a anything but Ohio State fan, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Most disliked fan bases and most disliked college football teams. If we did walk man on the street, give me 5 college football teams that you just dislike. I think most people would have Ohio State in there. Right at some
I think they're
place.
the most unlikable non-SEC school. And I think the SEC schools would split the vote. So yes. Because you'd get some Alabama, you'd get some Georgia at this point.
Okay, yeah. So greatness will always have haters for some reason.
Right.
You were doing it to the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday and the Kansas City Chiefs as well. Miss Positivity.
Reminding me.
So yeah, that's going to happen. So you're going to get Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
I would think you get Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, right? I think
USC would be in there too, admittedly.
I'm not sure if USC.
And we're not worthy.
I'm not.
Let me be clear.
I'm not
you
sure
shouldn't
if
care
USC
about
matters
us.
enough for
Unless
people
you
to be
are
mad
a giant
at.
women's basketball fan right now, you shouldn't care. And we haven't won anything in that in decades.
Yeah. So, great. Oh, I guess Quinshon, you're making me talk about this game. Quinshon Judkins transfer from
He was wearing
Ole
those
Miss.
pants high. He was. The gams were out on Quinshon Judkins in that game.
That's just a thick-thighed dude, man.
I know. He scored that touchdown. I said, I've seen enough.
He's, that transfer from Ole Miss, and somebody who, when I talk to people affiliated with that program, people who have interacted with them way more than the casual fan or the diehard Ole Miss fan, they would say, hey, he's a good one. He's not just good on the field, but he's good off of the field also. So I guess just tying it to regional stuff, it was nice for somebody to see
nice
him
to find some ounce of
win.
positivity.
Because I'm the most positive person on the show,
are.
Jessica. We talked about this. It was nice for some people, I guess, in the area to see him go out there and play at a really, really high level. That 9-minute, 10-minute drive Notre Dame had to start the game.
I had hope.
How many plays was it? 17?
15.
15? Oh, God, Jessica, when I tell you that if it wasn't Notre Dame, put anybody else in a uniform, when I tell you that drive makes me just, gives me tingles all through my extremities.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's football right there. That's football. 3 yards in a cloud of dust all the way down the field, baby, for a score. We're going to eat up this clock, dog. And then Notre Dame had nothing else to
Just their
give.
pretty gold font on their
That's
jerseys, which are quite pretty. All right. Let's talk about the Memphis
Thank
Grizzlies.
goodness we're done with this.
We're done. Wash our hands. Although I might give Ryan Day an apology later in the show. I haven't
what?
decided yet. I don't know. We'll decide on it later.
For what?
We'll decide on it later.
He lost 2 of the 3 biggest games he had to play this year. And one of those games was to a terrible football team. Right? He lost to Oregon. He lost at home to a bad Michigan team. No, why are we apologizing to him? beat teams that matter.
Because
win big games.
I will take responsibility. I said
he can't win big regular season games.
They're
Ohio
going
State
to
can't
fire
win.
him if he doesn't win the national championship.
As well they should have.
Last night, they won the national championship.
He kept his job for another year, I guess. Whatever.
We do highlights after Grizzlies wins.
We do.
Let's get straight into the highlights from yesterday at FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies on MLK Day, as it always is, as it always should be. Grizzlies taking on the Timberwolves. Desmond Bane hits a 3 to get it started. Grizz went up 11 quick, but then things got UGLY, need an alibi kind of ugly. Not that jaw finish, though. That was pretty. Not this one either. Between the leggies, Conley, Gobert, and Ant got nothing for him. Grizzlies shot 34% in the first half, 4 of 22 from 3. You want to make it easy? Throw it to the 7'4" dude in a face mask, Edie. Another win for Canadian French. The kids behind me chanting, "We want Gigi!" Got a win too as he made his season debut, a little Euro step around Gobert for his first bucket. 54-43 Minnesota lead at half. Call this 7 points because it's a touchdown. QB 12 with the rocket to Jalen Wells. And the Grizzlies fighting their way back into this one. Santi Claus was stuck on the Polar Express. Didn't have a point late in the third, but a jaw finds him for the spicy slam. Grizzlies would trail by 5 going into the fourth quarter. If you're dialing with fat thumbs, it is easy to press a 3 instead of a 2. So you're calling 13 as Jaren Jackson Jr. starting to cook. He said he's in the same network as 12, so you don't even have to add a line, which is good because Ja, tough bucket. He had 19 and 7. Charlie the Unicorn had Candy Mountain. Jaren Jackson Jr. the Unicorn has the coast-to-coast behind the back floater. He is 7 feet tall. Not supposed to do that. Tie game, 100 all. Dial extension 22. Bane with the finish, and the Grizzlies have the lead. Now, Jaren Jackson Jr. had 15 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter. The post-up, glow-up is real. And Anthony Edwards would have another chance at a game-winning 3 against the Grizzlies. Let's see how it goes. Oh, it's the same way it went last time. Grizz win 108-106. Winners on MLK Day. Always a special day at FedEx Forum. Always nice when they can get the win. By God, was a lot of that game not pretty to watch. The crowd was awesome yesterday. Like, the crowd was just waiting for a reason to get into that game, to have a reason to get loud. I had multiple friends texting me, wow, this is the loudest it's been at a game that they had been at thus far this season. And MLK Day always does just a good production job. I do want to give a shout out to the Arena Ops, the game day production team from the pregame with Cheryl Miller and Tommy Smith and Amari Stoudemire getting their legacy awards, the halftime show with Lucky Day. Just feels good that the Grizzlies can get the win. It feels great that they get it done on national television. And to be a team that has a far trajectory in the postseason, you have to find a way to win ugly games. And when you have Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and Desmond Bane all operating in a way where you can trust them down the stretch in a game like that, I do think that's a big positive to take out of yesterday's game.
That's huge. That's huge. It's going to have to be a 3-headed monster when you think about how this team is going to progress throughout the playoffs. January has hit. We are past the halfway point. You are what you are at this point. Got some questions about some of these teams. Cough, cough, Celtics right now. But like you pretty much are what you are at this point.
Did you watch any of their game yesterday?
I did. And I've got questions about other teams, but I was just throwing that in there as a throwaway. We can talk about it some other point.
My takeaway is the Warriors are cooked.
They're done.
They're done.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have a trade.
I don't
There's
have
nothing that changes
no questions.
it. Yeah.
No questions about the Golden State Warriors. I think I know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fully know what the Celtics are. Back on the Grizzlies. What the Grizzlies are is a team that is going to be led by and carried by those 3. Jaren, Dez, Ja. Those 3 are going to have to play at a really, really high level every single game come postseason play. Now, sure, one of these players is going to give you a game, assuming they're still on the roster. I don't know what the trade deadline is going to do, but assuming they are still on the roster, you'll get a Santi game and some Santi moments.
Last night.
No, well, we'll talk about that. You'll probably get a Luke Kennard game. I'm thinking.
Not last night.
But we're not talking about that.
Okay.
We're talking about in the future. You're probably going to get one of
How about a Jalen Wells?
No.
He had at least 13 points.
Maybe
in a game where every point counted.
Maybe a Jalen Wells, Zach Edey game, right? Like, you're going to get moments, certainly from at least one in a deep playoff run from some of those role players. But the way you get into a deep playoff run, you can't bank on those types of performances from those types of role players. You have to bank on your three guys, Jaren, John, Dez, playing at an extraordinarily high level, and one of them closing out the game. I love the fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. has looked to be more aggressive, more assertive in the fourth quarter. Jaren had foul trouble earlier in that game, which led to the Grizzlies, to me, looking very, very bad offensively, right? And I was thinking about this. If you had to rank individual players, individual moves on this Grizzlies team, 1 to 5, top 5, you would say, oh, Jaren in the paint, floater, left hand. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, right? Like, he's got all of the moves. So when you need a bucket, and they desperately needed a bucket, they couldn't just throw it to Jaren because Jaren wasn't on the court with foul trouble, and that led to Santi taking a bunch of threes and missing them. That led to Gigi coming into the game with no legs, taking threes and missing them. That led to other players forcing bad shots because somebody needed to score, and they were just in a rut. If they had Jaren on the court, they could have gotten out of that rut. They could have broke that Timberwolves run, and they would have been much better served. I think Jaren is the best offensive option this team has when you need to get a bucket this year.
That's why I think Jaren is the most important player on this team. And that's not a knock to Ja. And even Ja last night in his post-game remarks in the locker room, he called Jaren the franchise player. Like, that's not typical star behavior.
Ja, this is the same Ja Morant who took his most improved player trophy and just stuck it in Desmond Bane's
Yes, but
house.
that's my point.
Ja does this.
That's my point. Ja does not operate under the, this is my world and I am constantly the brightest star in FedEx Forum every night. I think there's a respect, and I don't think it's just word salad and nonsense. Like, he truly believes it and understands that them working, and especially being able to truly rely on not one but two options down the stretch in a game, and you throw Desmond Bane in there, all that is solidifying yourself as someone who can make a deeper run when things slow down late in a game, to be able to have the consistency from those three players. And you mentioned that it feels like Jaren has really taken a leap forward in his productivity in the fourth quarter. And that's because he has. He's averaging 7 points in the fourth quarter this season. That leads the team. That's top 10 in the NBA. And it is a travesty that when the fan voting section of the All-Star votes comes out later this week, Jaren Jackson Jr. most likely will not be named a starter. I did love over the weekend when they put him next to Yuki Kawamura in a live stream video where they talked about the Lunar New Year and they did sketch drawing of Ja, and I thought that was very strategic. But he has been behind on those fan votes, and I would assume, you never assume, but I would assume that the coaches will put him in. There's 3 forward spots. If you can't get the forward spot, there's 2 wild card position spots that are positionless. Anyone can get them. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing at a level where it would be insane for him not to appear at All-Star Weekend. I hope that opportunities like last night, being that game on national television, I saw a lot of Jalen Wells Rookie of the Year on my timeline, not from Memphis fans, but from basketball fans who were watching the Grizzlies for one of the first or few times this season. And then the other thing I saw was, wow, I've seen the stats, I've seen the highlights. I now understand the leap for Jaren this year has been critical to the Grizzlies' success. We'll talk about it with Mike Wallace. He's going to join us on the other side. We'll discuss Gigi Jackson's return. Taylor Jenkins, after the game, said he had not necessarily planned to play Gigi last night. I'm gonna thank the kids behind me because they were loud. And I don't know, I have that headset on, so I don't know if it started somewhere on the other side. But I think it started with the children.
No, it was behind the goal.
It was behind the goal.
It was behind the goal, and then it moved over there.
They were squelching.
Yeah, well, everybody
not screeching,
was. Everybody.
Not yelling, squelching.
Everybody was.
Because it really hurt my ears. But anyway, GJ gets in the game. We'll talk about what the rotations could look like moving forward. TNT crew had a discussion about who is the second best team in the West. Half of them said the Grizzlies. We'll talk with Mike about all of that when we come back.
Sitting right next to me, am I right? The one and only Jay Huff. Were you comfortable there in your seat?
I'm great. You know, I've been adjusting it, playing around with the height settings.
What are you exactly? 7'1" or 7 even? Or
I say 7'2" because I wear shoes.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to RiverBeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve it.
You walked in here on Friday afternoon and said
the smoke
every day for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You have said, I am John Buckeye.
I said once the playoff matchups were made, you asked what I thought. I said Ohio State's going to beat them by double digits. I said Ohio State's. I walked it all back and went John Vol. I joined General Nealon's Navy.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them Tigers?
How about the Tigers?
Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Welcome back. Grizzlies beat the Timberwolves on MLK Day 108-106. Mike Wallace was there. Mike Wallace joins us now as he does each and every Tuesday. Mike, how's it going this morning?
Hey, it's going great. It's going great. And as you said, what a big time win. You guys have been talking about it so far this morning. And I think the thing that I was most excited about from the game and the whole weekend experience was that photo you shared with you and Cheryl Miller. And I was telling my wife, I said, I know exactly how much that means to Jessica Benson, from USC alum to USC alum. And it's just been a great weekend of a lot of different things that went on surrounding that game. And I'm just proud. I'm proud to represent Memphis and the Memphis Grizzlies on a weekend like that.
It always feels like a very proud time to be, and that's such a thing for us to say, like we work for the team. But it did strike me yesterday watching the pregame festivities, like how that all goes down every year is a really special thing. It's why Memphis does and should always have an MLK Day game. I know there was a lot of conversation with the Hawks game not being played in Atlanta yesterday because of the national championship game being in Atlanta, so they had to play at Madison Square Garden. But it's such a no-brainer that it should be a game in Memphis, a game in Atlanta, and then all of the additional storytelling around it. Like, yes, the picture with Cheryl Miller, I will treasure forever. I don't always take pictures with people, but I went into yesterday being like, you will be so mad at yourself if you don't get one. And what struck me, my favorite thing she said out of everything she said yesterday was, we were talking about the symposium, and the first words out of her mouth were, I can't wait to listen. Like, here's one of the honorees, and she was just so excited to be able to listen to Tommy Smith and to listen to Amari Stoudemire. And I just thought that was really special and indicative of who she is as a person and why she has that warmth and that comfort that everybody gravitates to. Like, she has the confidence, sure, but she makes everybody feel like they are not just like worthy to be in her presence, but alongside her. It's a nice thing to see. Meet your heroes. Sometimes they live up to it.
No, it is. It is. And all three of the honorees have such a unique story that really transformed and really set the tone for the rest of their lives after they stopped competing in sports. So, you know, for Amari Stoudemire to embrace, you know, basically his faith and his new walk in the Jewish faith, and, you know, to be, you know, to really dive deep into it. This isn't just a guy that, you know, just stumbled emotionally upon something that he wanted to do. Like, this is a man that lives by his Jewish faith now. He's investigated it. I mean, he investigated it. He went deep into it. He went over to Israel. You know, he's lived there. He's worked there. He's done all the work that goes into being, you know, where he is at in his life right now. And I talked to him as well. You know, he's still, that journey began in Miami. And I was telling him yesterday, you know, reminding him yesterday that, hey, I was covering you during the last stages of your career when you were in Miami, when you first ventured into this faith journey. And we had a chance to talk about that because he still lives back in Miami. And, you know, Tommy Smith, man, another powerful picture was to see him in the Civil Rights Museum raise his fist up in the iconic gesture that he did in 1968. If tears didn't well up in your eyes when you saw that, you don't have a pulse. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to be around that group and to see them and to have my chance to, you know, host our Junior Grizzlies MLK, you know, youth panel discussion and the things that, you know, to be on that stage with them as well, you know, on Sunday leading into Monday's events too, you know, was remarkable. And Taylor Jenkins was part of that as well. So, you know, even just to hear Taylor and Lionel Hollins, I had never seen those two guys share a stage before, and I had an opportunity to host the two greatest coaches in Memphis Grizzlies franchise history, the two winningest coaches, and the mutual respect and admiration that they have for each other and their backgrounds was remarkable to see too.
Yeah, it was really special. That Tommy Smith, there's a picture of him and Cheryl Miller from the National Civil Rights Museum that just gives you goosebumps. And the older I get, the more you understand just how truly difficult and what a sacrifice it makes to make a statement like that on the stage that he and John Carlos did at the Olympics. For the Grizzlies, are we calling yesterday a statement on a national stage on TNT as they managed to win a game that was by no means pretty and a lot of things didn't work for them? The shooting, particularly in the first half, could not have been much colder if you were the Memphis Grizzlies, but they're able to turn to particularly Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Desmond Bane as well down the stretch, and get a win over another Western Conference team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a statement it is, just because that Minnesota Timberwolves team, just for whatever reason, they can't rekindle what they had going for them last year. And this is the second time that these two teams have met in the span of a week, and both games played out the same way. You know what I mean? It seems like, you know, the Grizzlies kind of stumbled through the initial stages of the game, fell behind by double figures, and then came back and snatched the game away from Minnesota, with Ant Edwards taking another, you know, very, very difficult shot because of the defense that was applied to him. So it was almost like, you know, rinse, repeat again for the Timberwolves when it comes to the Grizzlies, blowing double-digit leads and figuring out a way to lose, whereas Memphis is right there, showing you that they have the versatility and a diversity within their approach to get a game like that. So, yeah, really, when you think about it, Jess, that's back-to-back wins on national TV. They had the ESPN game against the Spurs where they just, did their thing against San Antonio, and then to do this against Minnesota, I think it validates what a lot of people want to believe about the Grizzlies, but don't get a chance to necessarily really see on a game-to-game basis. And you know that this team is a real threat in the West.
Is the reason not because Karl Anthony Towns isn't there? Like,
I think that might have something to do with it.
Because that's, to me, and maybe I'm putting too much on what he was for that team, but when you think about his versatility, both on the offensive side of the ball and his ability to score, much like Jaren Jackson Jr., right, where he can stretch you, he can go by you, he can post you up on offense, and he's a really good rim protector, a really good shot deterrent on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're missing that. Julius Randle is good, but Julius Randle wasn't what Cat was for them.
Yeah, and that's the decision that Minnesota made. When you make this decision, you basically you thought it was going to be addition by subtraction, and you were ready to shift the franchise over into Anthony Edwards' hands exclusively, right? As long as Karl Anthony Towns was there, he was also the number one pick. He was also the franchise player. So you're kind of splitting your loyalties between these two, and that gets you through the regular season. But when it comes time to get to a playoffs, they don't have the kind of maturity yet. At least they haven't shown it where those two guys could coexist in a meaningful way. And they had a great year last year, but I agree with you, CJ. I think when you eliminate a guy like that, especially when you see the way Karl Anthony Towns is producing with the Knicks, you got to say, wow, why did they do this? And what's going on with them? Because they don't have Anthony Edwards taking contested jumpers from the three-point line at the end of games isn't a formula that's going to win you a lot of games. And that just didn't work.
Which is why when you brought up the fact that Ja was calling Jaren the franchise player and how complimentary Ja is sincerely of the everybody on the team, but specifically Jaren and Dez, that's why that is important, right, Mike? That may be true that they couldn't get the most out of Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. They had to pick one, and they went with Edwards. And we see that happen time and time again in the NBA. Whereas with this Grizzlies team, they can get the most out of everybody, their main three, because their main three wants the other two to be as successful as humanly possible.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's exactly what Ja Morant shared after the game last night. When he talked about not only Jaren Jackson Jr. Deserving to be an All-Star, but also an All-NBA guy, right? So when you have those moments where Dez kind of gets you going in the second half. It was back-to-back games. 3 straight games last week on the road where Dez in the third quarter put the team back in position to make those fourth quarter runs to get going. And then, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been the closer. And what you have right now is Ja understanding that, he doesn't have to. Ja, remember this, for the last 3 or 4 years when he was healthy, or the times when he has been healthy, Ja's been one of the greatest closers in the game. He was like leading the league in fourth quarter scoring, and you go to him, call 12, get out the way, let him do his thing. But what Ja is seeing now is that, while he deals with his injuries and things that take him in and out of the lineup, Jaren has been the guy that's been there. You know what I mean? And Jaren's ability to close, he has the automatic mismatch every time he matches up with anyone. If doubles are going to come double Jaren, it's going to come later than it would come to double Ja out at the top of the key. So Jaren is reading and reacting to the game in a remarkable way. And he was the linchpin in this thing that started the new next gen era. He was the first one in. So he's living up to that now, and you see those 3 guys all respecting one another's contributions to that.
Yeah, when he's going coast to coast behind the back for the floater, I'm like, oh, that's the vision. When he's posting up Julius Randle, tomato chesting, I'm like, that's the vision. And you're just seeing the full version of Jaren, particularly offensively, and what he's been for this group. And one of the comments from Coach Jenkins last night that I thought was of interest was even him talking about going to those 3 players in late game situations and asking them, who should we be going to? Not in a lost kind of way, but in a reading the matchups, trusting them in how they're reading the matchups, their real-time basketball IQ, and as they've grown as a trio, the trust in being able to go to your players in a situation like that is big. I was listening to the TNT crew's kind of recap on the game yesterday, and they were talking about who is the best team or the second best team in the Western Conference behind Oklahoma City Thunder. Forget about the records, which would have the Houston Rockets there right now. And 2 of the 4 said the Memphis Grizzlies. Shaq said the Nuggets. And It does feel that the Grizzlies are moving up in the respect category. It doesn't matter ultimately. Like, you get to the postseason, you have to make the run. But where does your confidence level in the Grizzlies being, at least in the conversation of second best team in the West? And they called them a true championship contender last night.
Yes, I mean, when you look at the top, and I said this, a month or so ago, I kind of gave my pecking order of the teams that, are the most concerning because of the matchups with the Grizzlies. And, I have to recant the Oklahoma City thing. Those dudes, the way they play together, the way that they go at you, the way that their guards defend, the way that they, basically go snatch the ball from you when they want to get a defensive stop. That team is legitimate, certified NBA championship caliber type team, right? But everyone else, even though the Grizzlies haven't been able to solve the Houston Rockets riddle, I think they've put themselves in games where they can at least contest and contend for a win at the end of them, and they got to figure that out. But, again, I still stand by the fact that the bigger physical experienced teams, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Mavericks when they're healthy, the Clippers, if Kawhi Leonard can continue to stay healthy, and those are going to be some tough matchups. I don't think there's an easy out in the West 1 through 7 at this point. And the Grizzlies are right there in the thick of it. I think it's going to be very important that they hold on to a top 3 or 4 seed, because I think first round playoff advantage being at home is going to make a difference for them, at least in the first round. And that's going to be very essential for this team. I think they're right there. And now you're starting to see the continuity of what this team has. I think Dez has kind of emerged from his early season struggles. Ja Morant is still here and there with the injuries every now and then, but his understanding of how to get everybody else involved is top notch. And then Jaren has been just the guy. He's been calibrating everyone else. So when you have that plus the bench, Santi had a off night last night, but the game before that, I mean, that was like max contract Santi, right? This is a guy that was on a mission from that standpoint in San Antonio. So you like what you see, and then you just got to figure out how Jenkins is going to fine-tune the second half of that rotation going down the stretch, and we'll see.
That brings us to Gigi Jackson, who we saw for the first time. Did Taylor Jenkins get bullied by the fans at FedEx Forum, Mike? Because they were chanting, "We want Gigi," and those chants were growing. I always have the headset on for the radio, so I can only hear the children in the box right behind me, and they were screaming, "We want Gigi." And then I actually took my headset off and realized, oh, it's not just the kids. Like, this is a thing that's happening within the arena right now. He ultimately plays 11 minutes. He had 4 points, 2 of 4 shooting, missed all the threes that he took. He had a nice dunk down the middle. First bucket was the Euro step around Rudy. What did you see from him, and how do you envision the implementation of Gigi Jackson in the rotation over these next few weeks?
What was interesting is that, I do feel like Taylor did respond. You know what I mean? You can't not hear it, right? It's one thing when you're hearing Yuki and okay, we can't send Yuki in there until we're ready to light the cigar, right?
Except for that one game where they were down and doing nothing, and they're like, here, throw Yuki in the first.
Yuki game.
Go inspire.
The Yuki game.
Hey, Scottie Pippen, you're out. Yuki, go
ahead. You could go ahead in there and do something, but and especially when you parse what Taylor was saying after the game, he said that he didn't go into the game having a specific rotation for Gigi in that game, and he just kind of went with it. I think part of that was because Santi was struggling, and what you really have to look at is where Gigi went in and who he went in for. Last year, it was all on the perimeter. It was like he was playing the 3, and he was up top. This time, he went in at the 4. He was playing power forward. So who are the power forwards in that situation? You're looking at, Santi Aldama. You're looking at Jake LaRavia at times, even though both of those guys played together, Gigi and Jake. And so he's going to trend more towards a front court, versatile type player more so than the back court. So that's going to be interesting because you still have Brandon Clark there. You still have that power rotation. We didn't see a lot of Jay Huff. That's another guy that, that the Gigi minutes sort of took away from. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And I think Taylor has the luxury of saying, I'm going to go with whoever I feel best about among those 3 guys in that situation. So we'll see if this is a consistent thing. But I do know it's going to be difficult to play 11 guys as you get tighter down the stretch and going into the playoffs.
Yeah. And 11 in the first quarter yesterday, and 12 overall.
How much of that was him looking for somebody to do anything?
It was.
But they were up 11 early, and then the wheels started to fall off after the starters go out, then it's the bench versus the Timberwolves starters. And I'm with you. Like, it's one of those things that is ultimately a luxury because you have the depth to pick and place with, and you can get a feel of who has it on any given night. But as we know, once you get to the playoffs, you don't want to be going 12 deep. Like that's just never been something that we've seen as a recipe for success.
I saw him like the first GG shift was one that, it didn't stun me. It was a reaction. It was part of reaction to the crowd and just, hey, let's throw him out there. He's been working hard. And you got to remember, GG played 3 straight games in 3 straight days going into the MLK game. So, he was one of those guys that he needed to, he wanted the validation of, hey, my hard work is paying off. And Taylor rewarded him for that because it was GG who also said, hey, I need to stay down here with the hustle for another game or two to make sure I'm good. And I think Taylor really respected GG taking that mindset. So the first shift was more of a reward. The second one was more revealing to me because to do that in a tight game in the fourth quarter, and you're trying to figure out, how to, break through against this team and get some rhythm, and for GG to be able to do it and answer that call, man, that was big time.
Yeah. Mike, did you recognize, and I'm sure you did because you keep track of all of this, that the Grizzlies are top 10 in three-point percentage this season?
Yep. Because last year they were top 5 in attempts, and they were like bottom 3rd in conversions, in percentages, in makes, right? Now, they are knocking down that 3-point shot for sure. Yes.
And they've had 17 years. I heard this on the TNT broadcast. It had been 17 straight years where they have fallen in the bottom portion of 3-point percentage. And then to be at this point, now they credited Luke Kennard, which makes sense because when you think of 3-point assassins, Luke Kennard is still a name that draws that. But what do you accredit that statistic being so vastly different this year versus years past?
I think another year of volume shooting and feeling your rhythm. They work on that shot a lot, right? They've always taken 3-pointers, but it takes to get the conditioning you need to continue to make that a steady diet in your offense. They're taking more open 3-pointers this year because they're taking them on transition and in the break. You have multiple guys capable of knocking down 3-pointers. Scottie Pippen is a sneaky good 3-point shooter. When it comes to that, we see Santi get streaky. LaRavia can hit the 3. Conchar when he does get minutes, he can hit the 3. Zach Edey's percentage looks, phenomenal for a guy shooting 3s. He doesn't shoot a lot of them, but all of those guys. I mean, I want to think, even Josh's 3-point shooting is managed. He's very streaky. It's not anything that he wants to rely on, but he's confident when he's taking them. So, when you go, 1 through 10, and all of these guys are capable of knocking down 3s, and that's a steady part of your diet, you feel like, okay, they're going to get better in that area. And, even if you get better by 2 or 3 percentage points, that knocks you way up the ladder when it comes to NBA rankings. So, to go from let's just say, for instance, if you go from 33% shooting team to a 37% shooting team, that's 4 percentage points, but it could take you from 26th to probably 12th. And when you're looking at how the league goes from that standpoint.
Yeah, they have 12 players shooting over 30% from 3 this season, and a handful over 40%. So anyway, Mike, look forward to seeing you a lot this week. Grizzlies with 3 more home games coming up starting on Wednesday against the Charlotte Hornets as they finally get an Eastern Conference opponent. It's been a heavy dose of Western Conference foes for the last couple weeks here for the Grizzlies. But we will see you tomorrow at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets have won 3 straight, so that's going to be it's not going to be a pushover. And New Orleans has won 4 straight. Like, what's going on right now with these 2 teams?
Is the Hornets still without Brandon Miller?
Yes, he just left the lineup. Yeah, he left the lineup, so he won't play tomorrow. And we'll see what the Pelicans bring in at the end of the week.
Speaking of the Hornets, Mike, do you plan on swerving, bending corners? Whoa.
You know what? I can say that I have not intentionally heard that song yet. I need to go listen to it.
Being the operative word.
I'm sure it's probably played and I would recognize it if I knew what it was. But it's
the new curse.
I gotta go check it out because there's too much talk about it for me not to be intentional about my knowledge.
You should hear it. Okay, I will say for that family, pretty cool to see the picture of Lonzo and LaMelo playing against each other, and then they used the Jello song in the Instagram post, so it's like ball, ball, ball. Come on.
I'm blaming Jello for the Lions collapse.
I was gonna say that's
like
the curse.
That song is cursed, Mike.
He popped up, he sang the song, and they lost.
What's crazy now is the one ball we haven't seen is Papa Ball. Where has he been? Right? Like he's the one guy.
Lessons were learned.
Yeah.
He's enjoying his children's success, which I love.
As a father, once your kids hit a certain age, you don't be around all the damn time. Like 18, 19, you're around.
Man, he was everywhere. LeVar was everywhere a few years ago. Now we can't find him, so it's good for him. We got to say, he was right. They all were going to make it to the league. They all did in one way or another.
Mike, we'll see you next time.
All right.
I'll never forget one of the local news stories that my former general manager, when the NCAA tournament was here and Lonzo came and played, and the assumption at that point, LeVar was everywhere, so there was no way he wasn't going to be in Memphis. He got me to try to organize an interview with LeVar Ball, and I can't think of the dad's name, but the dad of the Lawsons. Here, he was convinced. He's like, we got to get the Lawsons are the brothers of Memphis and the Ball brothers under LeVar. It didn't happen. But what could have been? What could have been? Will Coleman's a former Memphis Tiger. He's going to join us in the next segment. We're going to talk about an up and down and all around week for the Memphis Tigers, who are still in the AP Top 25. They dropped to 24 in the latest AP poll. They have another couple big games coming up this week. We'll catch up with Will after a quick break.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Memphis Cat is back with his Heaven on Earth tour.
I tried to be incognito, but thanks to Shannon Sharp's loud mouth, the gig is up.
February 22nd in the FedEx Forum.
In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati. Look for their secrets. Run back. Tell y'all.
Don't miss this year's most talked about comedy icon live. He's back with brand new material, an unmatched wit, and an electrifying performance. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic last year. Tonight you'll watch him coach at Michigan. So why do I care if a football player decides to leave one place where he's making whatever money to go somewhere where he's making even more? It's what most coaches do every year. So I cannot stand it, and I mean can't stand it when the coaches sit up there and act like these young people are doing something wrong.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
if I was a high school player, or if, let's say I'm the father of a child who's 16 years old, and Mike Vick comes knocking on my kid's door, and Virginia's there also, and so is Virginia Tech, I'm like, yo, you gotta go where Vick is. You gotta go to Norfolk State.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Former Memphis Tiger Will Coleman joins us every Tuesday. Sometimes he brings us food, and today he sure did. Will, what do we have?
All right, so I had a couple ideas, but I figured pending the weather here in Memphis, Tennessee, I'll make you guys some homemade chili.
Oh, yes.
And some homemade cornbread.
Let's go.
So here's your cornbread. Here's your cornbread.
Chili.
So I got your cilantro here.
Oh, wow.
Your red onions here.
Wow.
Your cheese here.
Oh,
wow. I got your sour cream here.
Oh, wow.
And I got, listen, I don't know, I know your husband's always requesting food.
True.
I don't know about your wife, but I kind of got everybody their own little thing here.
A true hero.
Chili and honey. Yeah, you come, Come on. Y'all can dress it up. And I got honey in case y'all want to put extra honey on the cornbread.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell me you put honey in your chili, and I had a lot of questions.
No, I would never. Honey in your chili is kind of crazy.
Well, okay, what's the meat in this?
It's ground beef. Is that okay?
Ground beef. What's the beans in this?
Kidney beans. Is that okay?
Red kidney?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
What's the key to your chili?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
You can't tell me.
Fine. Whatever.
Damn. Got to go get the hot sauce.
While he goes and gets the hot sauce, I'm so excited for chili because it is 10 degrees outside and the studio is maybe 12. But I got my big fluffy coat on, so I'm nice and warm.
Like Frank Lucas.
It's me. Look at me go. Yeah, I like the mountains. It's nice.
Colorado gal.
It's a rental. Memphis goes 1-1 since we last saw you. A loss to Temple by 7. And then they went and beat Charlotte by 9. They dropped to 24th in the AP poll. However, they stay in the AP poll, which is a positive, all things considered, probably because they are 4-2 against AP top 25 opponents this season. The losses to Auburn and Mississippi State, but those wins over Michigan State, Ole Miss, UConn, Missouri continue to be big resume boosters for the Tigers.
Right.
I ask you, is this team getting better, getting worse, or staying the same, in your opinion?
What's crazy is I feel like it's all the above.
Okay. That's fine. You can explain that answer too.
It's all. We have spurts where we look like a top 10 team, and we have spurts where we look like we shouldn't even be ranked.
That's good chili.
Is it?
That's really good chili.
Good. And we have teams and we have times where we look mediocre. But I will say, out of everything that happened over the past week, we got lucky. Lucky in the sense of, you have. Everybody was catching it. Like I said, nobody's safe in conference. Tennessee took an L. Gonzaga took an L. Michigan took an L. There's a lot of things that went down, and I think kind of saved us in a bit in the grand scheme of things. But, a lot of people talk about running the table in their conferences and things like that. But like I said, I just think nobody's safe in conference play.
It is true. It's very tough, which is why when you have 2 upcoming games against Wichita State and UAB, presumably better opponents than the 2 you just played. Oh, I forgot we had the cornbread. What is the biggest thing that you think the Tigers need to immediately improve upon to not take another conference loss?
We took an L to Temple. There was, lack of defense, lack of rebounding.
The offensive board's given up in that game.
So we need to figure out how to crash the offensive glass and really clean that up because that really hurt us in the Temple game. And I think that can be a sore spot for teams or for us when teams see us and they make the scouting report. Hey, these guys don't like hitting the glass, so let's take advantage of it. Let's crash. Let's slice. Let's do what we got to do to get on the glass and secure these rebounds so we can get back on offense and get into our transition.
I love cornbread so much. This is fantastic cornbread.
Yes.
This is really good. Can you tell me the secret to your cornbread? I assume it's made from scratch.
Yeah, we don't do no box stuff at the crib.
No, of course not.
Everything from scratch.
I would expect nothing less.
Everything from scratch.
But you don't have little corn pieces in it. So that's key for yours.
Yeah. Don't put no corn in cornbread.
You put corn in your cornbread?
Me?
Not me.
No, but I don't make
some
anything.
people do put corn in their cornbread.
Yeah, I've had good cornbread where I've seen pieces of corn in it. And at first, I'd be like, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
But actually, the only thing that can make cornbread bad to me is dry cornbread.
Yeah. And that's what I was nervous about when
dry.
making this.
No, this is perfect.
The chili,
and the chili's excellent.
Okay. All right.
I just made chili for the first time in like a decade when it snowed. The day that it snowed, I decided that I wanted to make chili.
Right.
And I was pretty proud of my chili. Your
good.
chili's really good. If we did a great chili cook-off of Memphis, your chili might beat mine, and that's okay. There's some good chili.
Good.
It's real good.
Good. I was
Who's
nervous about it.
Other than PJ Haggerty, who continues to solidify himself as one of the best players in the country, who's your secondary MVP for this Tigers team so far?
Kobe, dog. Kobe. He's turned into a certified sniper. And when it comes down to it, Kobe is definitely one of those guys. If we need a three to tie the game, or if we need something to pop off, we got to find Kobe. And it's just a great shot. Super high release, hard to get to, hard to guard. And he just shoots lights out.
How frustrating would it be for you as a player in today's game, where the Tigers go 1-1, right? And they stay ranked in the AP top 25. But then you have to have the additional conversation about the metrics and the analytics of it. And if you're beating a team like you did Charlotte,
right,
you're not beating them by enough because your strength of schedule and the opponents that you have in the American is so weak that you have to go out and blow out teams in order to have movement in the net, in Ken Palm, in Bart Torvik. As a player, I imagine you want to ignore that because you've been taught your whole life, just win the damn game. Yeah. And suddenly all these numbers are floating around like, well, we won, but not by enough. Have you talked to any players about that? Did you just put honey in?
His chili on the cornbread.
That's on the cornbread.
On the corn.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can a player eat?
Yeah.
Can I live?
You teach me to eat better, so I was just making sure that I wasn't missing out on some experience.
No. Did you get any honey on the cornbread? Well, this is good as shit.
I appreciate it, man.
Did you get any honey on there?
No. It's perfect. I don't like to put things on my bread.
Put some honey on there.
I don't like to.
Trust me.
There's already honey on it.
Trust me. Well, the chili good. The cornbread good. The cornbread with the chili.
Excellent.
Hot damn.
I like it. But yeah, to answer your question, it is extremely frustrating because it's like a win is a win.
Yeah.
A win is a win. Like, no matter how you slice it, 1 point, 100 points. A win is a win, man. And going into games and having to be as strategic as you need to be. Hey, guys, we need to go out. Not only do we need to get the win, but we got to win by 10-plus points. Or we got to win by 15-plus points. That's a lot of pressure, and it's extremely frustrating.
Someone in the chat asked if I like dry stuff. No, that's not the answer. I love good bread. My entire life, my Nana made the best biscuits. I never put anything. No butter, no honey, no syrup, no jam, no preserves, no nothing. No Nutella, no anything. Because a good piece of bread, not dry, moist, perfectly baked, does not require anything extra. Now, the honey on the cornbread was great. But guess what? The cornbread is good on its own. And I think that's a testament to a good baker. You bake cornbread, right?
Yeah, you bake cornbread.
Thank you. I baked a frozen pizza over the weekend, so we are the same.
We should have a segment with all of us three, to see who can eat a Popeye's biscuit without drinking anything. Talk about dry.
That's a tough thing.
That thing's dry.
That's a tough thing to do.
Oof. Popeye's cornbread, that's borderline suicide. Hey, if you can take down a Popeye's biscuit without nothing to drink, I'm
You're
scared
built
of
different?
you. You built different.
I can do it.
Oh,
I can do like 3 or 4 of them.
They should do that at like NFL Combine weekend. When they're taking the smarts test, they should also give you a Popeye's biscuit and just see if you can down it. How tough are you?
I have a really moist mouth, so it's easy for it to go down.
This is too much information.
Yeah, it's too.
We're talking about biscuits.
This man.
Shelly! Shelly, you'll never believe what CJ said on the show today. No context.
Yeah, I'm excited for my guys. I still, like I said, I still think we have a chance to do some great things. And I think we got incredibly lucky this past week. Now, if we would have been the only ranked team that took an L, we would have been in some trouble. But some really heavy hitters took some L's this past week, and it really was in our favor. Now, we don't need to continue to run around losing the teams we shouldn't be losing to, but I mean, Temple, 8-0 at home now. Ain't have nothing to lose. They amped up, white out. Like, come on, man, you got target.
We talked about the whiteouts, you know?
Memphis, we always gonna have a target on our back, especially in our conference. But then when you're a ranked team, on top of the way people been talking about the Tigers in this country, nationally, everybody gonna be begging and chomping at the bits to take us out.
I have some breaking news.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Are you a music person?
I do. I love music.
Okay. We just got the RiverBeat festival lineup.
Let's hear it.
2025. We got the headliners.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, we got the lineup. We got the whole lineup. Okay. Headliners are Missy Elliott.
Okay.
Sign me up.
All right.
The Killers.
Okay.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
The white people anthem of the world. Yes. Anderson .Paak. Sign me up. That's a good get. That's a good ass get.
Yeah.
That's a great get. And then the other acts are Benson Boone, Cage the Elephant, Kruengbin. I can never pronounce them.
Ludacris.
They just performed at Austin City Limits. Ludacris and Public Enemy. How old is Public Enemy at this point?
Public Enemy's gonna be here!
Oh
my God!
Public Enemy's gonna be here. Public Enemy's gonna be here.
I'll
be buying tickets to
these kind of festivals, and a lot of people kind of give me the hibby-jibbies.
Wait, Galantis?
But I'll
Steve
pull up for
Aoki?
this. Steve Aoki, yeah. I'll pull
Busta
up for this.
Wait. They did not include.
I'll
They
pull up
stopped.
for this.
I'm on the.
I'll pull
Shame
up for
on
this.
you, WMC Action News 5, because I clicked on your article about the RiverBeat Fest, and
Yeah, I'm
they
pulling up for
ended
this.
at Public Enemy. They have Missy Elliott, The Killers, Anderson .Paak, Benson Boone, Cage the Elephant, Kruengbin, Ludacris, and Public Enemy, which on its own, I would be so for. But the fact that you also have Busta, Steve Aoki, Flo Milli, even, and Galantis?
Yeah, this crazy. Yeah, I can pull up for this. At least.
The haters told me that RiverBeat wasn't going to work, and I stood firm
Isn't this
right
the
here
same
on this
as, like,
show, and I said I believed in RiverBeat Music Festival, and that is what belief turns into.
Is this the same
right there.
thing as like
No.
Beale Street
No.
music?
They got in a fight.
That's what I was saying, because I know same thing happened with Barbecue Fest, right?
Yes.
That was so crazy. I just be so. I wish everybody just get along.
I mean, yeah, that would be great, but in the meantime, between
RiverBeat, you did your thing with this one.
Missy, The Killers, and Ludacris, from going to a music festival, like sometimes it's discovering new music. It's like songs that you know but you don't know well. That's like an all-time everybody sings every word.
What song?
Between Missy Elliott, The Killers, and
Missy Elliott, top
Ludacris.
5
Like, you
too.
have a
Top
ton.
5, top 5. I think she's top 5 female MCs. Top 10 MCs of all time.
I was gonna say I'd put her in the top 10 of all.
All time.
I'm in
top
a mood
5
about
female
this right
for
now.
sure.
I'm in a big mood because so many people yesterday, I called Cheryl Miller one of the greatest of all times, and the number of people who were like, well, actually, one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time. And I'm like, shut the hell up. Nobody, go kick rocks, go touch grass. She's one of the best basketball players of all time. And then they get into, well, it's two different games. No, it's not. Shh. So anyway, I'm going to carry the same energy. No, Will, I don't want to hear it from you.
I didn't say
I
nothing.
know, you made a look,
I didn't say
you made a
nothing,
look,
dog.
and then I
I didn't
realized,
say nothing.
and I walked it back.
I didn't say nothing.
But I feel the same way about Missy Elliott. I think so often we're like, well, she's one of the best females of all time. She's just one of the best of all time.
Yeah, she got one of the hardest tracks ever made by her. Missy Elliott's Hot Boys track. Oh! Just the lyrics, the beat, baby, the producer, the engine, everything about that track is just, I mean, that thing should be like triple platinum or something crazy. I mean, that thing was, Missy Elliott was,
Do you have a favorite Missy song, CJ?
1 Minute Man. Hot Boys. I Can't Stand the Rain. Like early Missy was my jam. I love me some Missy.
Do you have a favorite Ludacris song?
Move, bitch, get out the way.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good
Go to sleep.
This will be my second Ludacris concert.
Blueberry
'cause I'm
Yum
buying
Yum?
tickets to this. Do you know Ludacris opened for the Black Eyed Peas tour? And yes, embarrassingly enough, I went to the Black Eyed Peas tour.
Black Eyed Peas got hits too, though.
Why is that embarrassing?
Because people hate the Black Eyed Peas like they hate Nickelback, and I think it's unfair. They have
Why?
hits, and it was a fun show.
People just hate catchy,
But I
poppy
always remember
music.
Ludacris at that show. It was one of my favorite things I've ever seen. Just like off, and I'm sure I say off the cuff because it was an off the cuff thing where you texted. It was like early phone times. So they put a number up on the board, and if I ever find out it was fake, I'd be so disappointed. But he would take texts that were going, and he just freestyled in real time off of the text that he was receiving that would just pop
Ludacris?
up. Yeah, it was sick.
That's how you know you're talented.
I know. It was so good.
Come on,
But now that I'm thinking about it as an old, pessimistic, definitely always positive,
Be
but
more positive.
pessimistic person.
Be more positive.
If I ever found out that those text messages were like previously sent and figured out, I'd be pretty bummed.
Fantasy,
So I don't know.
Ludacris fantasy. What's your fantasy?
What's your fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was RiverBeat. That's gonna be.
What's your favorite Public Enemy song? Public Enemy was the soundtrack of my childhood.
That does not surprise me.
Oh my gosh.
What's yours?
Oh, Welcome to the Terror Dome. Of course, Fight the Power.
Fight the Power is the obvious one.
911's a joke is a pretty good. Burn Hollywood Burn. Now that I think about it, take it back. Terror Dome followed by Burn Hollywood Burn.
Rebel Without a Pause.
Oh, so good, so good.
Good.
Well, we'll see you at the RiverBeat, Will.
I got to see who gonna play on what days. I really
I
want
don't
to
have
see.
that for you
I
yet.
want to see Luda. Want to see Missy. Want to see Busta. Want to see
I would love to see Nickelback also.
The Killers.
Nickelback's not here. I'm excited for the Killers.
Do they have any other song other than Mr. Brightside?
Yeah, somebody told me that
You had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year.
Okay. The Killers will wake a white man up out of coma.
Are we human?
Straight up.
Or are
You know who
we
else?
dancers?
Panic at the Disco is a good one. Panic at the Disco. Love their music.
I would pay money to just go see Panic at the Disco.
I'm telling you, man, they got hits, dog.
Yes.
They got hits, man. They got
We
hits.
need them back in the college football space. They talk about how everyone yesterday leading up to that national championship game was like, this game has no vibes. Nobody's talking about the national championship game. Yeah, you want to know why? Because they didn't have a Panic at the Disco song leading the way or a Fall Out Boy
You know a song
Get
that
back to the basics, CFP.
A song that played the other day. I wish they could like play it
Yeah.
like now, but like I heard it and I was like, to your point, I was like, this is it. This is what we missing, and it's like one of my favorite songs. And I don't like passing out songs. I'm a gatekeeper. I'll just be honest.
That's rude.
I'm a gatekeeper, but there's a band. It's called The Score, and they have a song called Visions. And when I heard that, they were playing it during the Georgia game. Of course, I'm locked in because it's Georgia playing. But I heard the song, and I was like, man, this song is good. And so now it's literally on every playlist when I work out or do anything. Like when I need to get my blood flowing or like the hair on the back of my neck to stand
That's
up.
where you go to?
I play that song right there, and it get me rolling, man.
Okay.
It's so good. It's so good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play it in the car when I go on the way home.
I can't stop eating this chili,
It's so good.
which is problematic.
CJ
because-
scraped all of his. Look at he licking the.
Yeah, that's why we keep CJ in the box.
Oh gosh. Well,
Because
listen
he's gonna
more.
be
I don't know if you want what y'all want to do with this. We got another container here.
I'll split it with him if I'm feeling friendly.
Yeah.
You'll split it with me?
Uh-huh. I'll pour half into this to take home because I want to eat this all week. So I can't finish it right now. I will literally have to run off this desk. Like, what are you doing? Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks for bringing in food.
No, it's right there.
it's
Some,
right
and there's
here.
some right here. It's another.
And there's even more.
Yeah,
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the national championship game. I will give an apology to Ryan Day. Yes, I will. But quickly, because CJ has a meeting at 9:30 and he won't stop telling me about it. So we got to take a
Ryan
break.
Day, does
We'll
Ryan
be
Day
back.
deserve to keep his job?
Yes. We'll be right back.
Let Michigan beat that ass some more.
He's scared. Ryan Day.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's gonna be crazy. The fans are gonna be loud. We need just energy.
Back to Jared for the flush.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bain three. Yes, sir. Desmond Bain with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
A night of comedy with Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? You don't know where your mom is. The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
I went ziplining for the last time. What is wrong with us? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times?
Live in Memphis, FedEx Forum, Friday, February 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
So these are a pair of Kobe 11 Elite Low. These were part of a collaboration with FC Barcelona.
I've never seen these in person. The detail on these are amazing.
It's Flyknit, the front of the shoe is Flyknit. It's got the lunar line, I remember, and the
insole is removable.
Yeah. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app. Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Face for.
Got something in my teeth. Boy, that was good ass chili. I said I wasn't gonna eat it all, and I lied to myself. That was good as hell.
I ate more than I was planning on.
Yeah, so did I, Jessica.
Because I came home from the game last night, and my wonderful husband surprised me, and he had gotten steak and mac and cheese, which is one of our favorite combos, and we haven't had it in ages. But yesterday he knew I was going to need a comfort dinner after working so hard and other things occurring, and wanted to stay in because of the national championship game that I was going to hate watch, even though I didn't have any real desire to turn it on. And we made steak and mac and cheese, but it was so much. I have that at home too. So now I have chili and steak and mac and cheese. My stomach's going to be in shambles.
I know yesterday was rough for you because of the work day or what have you.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to throw my heart to you.
CJ, oh, thank you. That's a normal way. Yeah. When I throw my heart, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to throw it back. You ready?
Yeah.
This is going to be like taking it.
Yep.
Twilight style.
Okay. All right.
I have a little flick. I never had a good throw.
You got to really step into it and really follow through.
Follow through is important. You don't want to stop it. You want to follow through.
You don't want to stop it.
You definitely don't want to stop it.
You don't want to stop it.
If I'm going to grab my heart and throw it to you.
I also don't want to stop it, but there are people in this world who do want to stop it. And it's not on accident. It's not.
You should see my outtake highlight writing from. I was on my best behavior for the highlights today.
Now I want to hear it. Do you have it?
No.
You don't have it?
I mean, I have it, but I'm not going to share it now.
You're not going to share on air?
Yeah.
All right, this is all fair thing?
I do have in writing, I would like to apologize to Ryan Day for once questioning if his team had the emotional drive to chase a championship through an extended playoff. I did say that.
So?
And I feel bad.
For what?
Because they cared.
I don't care.
I thought they didn't care because the fans didn't care, and the fans went full psycho mode on Ryan Day, saying that he should be fired and would be fired if they did anything but win a national championship. And then you win a national championship. We don't see that often. Oftentimes in these current sports landscapes, the coach ends up fired. And if he had lost in the first round, I am not convinced that Ryan Day would still be the head coach of Ohio State. And certainly wouldn't have another chance at losing to Michigan next year in that situation. But I got to hand it to them. They had the most talented roster in the beginning of the season. They looked like the best team, and they won. It was just hard to shake the stank from the loss to Michigan, but they did it.
I thought about, because whenever those national champions or professional league champions pop off, I start getting targeted ads for, hey, buy your commemorative national championship or NBA championship, whatever it is, T-shirt. And the T-shirts always have like the logo on the front, the year, national champion, and on the back of the shirt in college football, they'll put like the season results. And I almost bought one from this year's national champion just because it had 13-10 on the back. And I was trying to figure out how I could black out everything else and just have the 13-10 showing. The second I figured that out, I might pull the trigger and buy that. But yeah, whatever.
Did you watch the halftime show?
No.
It was so bad.
I don't know
how. It was
how
Travis Scott on a roof in the cold, and it looked like AI. There was flames coming out of the trumpet.
the halftime
for the national championship game. It was no Beyonce. We now have an Impossible bar, and it is Beyonce on Netflix.
Okay.
And Travis Scott does not.
That's better than Prince. Not a Super
Prince
Bowl.
was a Super Bowl. This is what I'm like. Okay, so take out Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Cool.
Beyonce. Every time Travis Scott pops up on my screen, I'm like, did this man never have to truly answer for the fact that he watched his fans get trampled to death?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I didn't know in my mind.
No.
I didn't know. And then something else popped up, and I was like, I'm turning it to Unrivals.
What else popped up?
A message.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it'd be that way.
Speaking of TV, I'm watching great television right now.
Are you?
I felt like I was starved, and now I feel like I've been fed.
Okay, what are you watching?
Well, I'm watching The Traitors, which is the reality show on Peacock. No, it's a weekly drop.
I want to hear, I know you got a list of things that you want to talk about. I don't care.
That's okay.
I want to hear the sisters?
Bad Sisters.
Bad Sisters. I want to hear that.
Traitors is still around. Bad Sisters, I finished season 1.
Okay.
And I've heard season 1 has like a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Season 2 has a small drop off, but people still enjoyed it. Season 1 is one of my favorite seasons of television that I've watched in the last couple of years. It belongs in my favorites category. It is about a group of sisters in Ireland. It's based in Ireland. It's a bunch of Irish actresses. In fact, one of them popped up on my screen. I was like, I recognize her. Remember that show, The Perfect Couple, that I talked about with Nicole Kidman that had the intro dance that everybody was doing, like da 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 da, the Meghan Trainor song? Okay, so she was in that show. I didn't think she was very good in that show, just being honest. She pops up in Bad Sisters. She's like one of my favorite characters and acting jobs on television. So I go to look for her, and the first thing that pops up is that her real name is Memphis. I'm like, why is this girl from Ireland's name Memphis? So then I dig deeper. It says, well, her parents were in the music industry. And I dig one step deeper. It's Bono's daughter. It's Bono's daughter, and she's named Memphis, but she goes by Eve, but her real first name is Memphis because either she was conceived here or she looked like Elvis when she popped out. She's great. The show is great. It's about a group of sisters who hate one of their sisters' husbands. He is quite literally the worst character I have ever seen written for television. Worse than Ramsay Bolton, worse than King Joffrey. Those always kind of sit in
Eric Cartman?
Yeah. Cartman's more like annoying than...
I want to punch that child.
Like, I've never rooted for someone's murder more in my life.
So what makes him... Can you tell me what makes him bad without, like, spoiling things? Like,
he is a manipulative, gaslighting POS.
Okay.
And every time I didn't think he could get worse, he got worse. And the way that he like siphons off the sister from her sisters, and like it creates the separation. They're a very close family, and he's dead. Like the first scene is him in a coffin, so this character ends up dead somehow, and you're trying to figure out. You're watching these sisters who decide to murder this guy.
This sounds like Earl.
Kind of.
But Earl was like popping her.
Yeah.
Popping Marianne was.
He does push her down there are domestic violence, but it's a comedy. But it's a dark comedy. It's a dark Irish comedy. And I never feel more connected to my heritage than when I'm watching a dark Irish comedy. Because I did laugh out loud multiple times. But then it also was very harrowing at parts of the journey. But you're just trying to figure out who ends up being the person who kills this guy throughout the show. And has a great twist. And
Season 1.
How
many?
12 episodes. It's a long season 1.
And they're in season 2, or you got to go to season 2?
Season 2 is already all out. So I'm halfway through the first episode of season 2. Okay. And I honestly wish that it had been a limited series and it had been one season.
I was just going to say that.
Because it's such a good story. And I don't know how it's going. I guess there were some loose ends.
Okay. At a certain point, you got to end it.
Yes.
With these types of things, you can have some shows that go on for 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons, but a show like this, where here's what happened, and we're going to tell you how it happened. Those things need to have an ending. I appreciate Squid Game for saying, hey, you know what? We're going to knock this thing out in 3 seasons and call it a day. I need more shows. Limited series type things.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing. Should I watch it? Would I find it?
I think you would.
Okay. I will say.
It gets a little serious at times.
The last time you told me to watch a dark comedy, it was Barry, and I enjoyed it.
It has Barry energy.
Okay.
I think.
How long? How long are the episodes?
They're an hour.
Okay.
It's a long show.
Okay.
But I binged it in 4 days.
Okay.
Granted, I was home alone this weekend, so I had a lot of extra time. I was literally during halftime of the divisional games, I was turning on episodes to try to finish them because I was having such a good time. But yeah, and then I'm still making my way through the Penguin, which is also very enjoyable.
Where are you at now?
Same place as I was because Chris was gone.
Okay. Oh, that's a couple show. Okay.
That's a couple show. Okay. And to be honest, Bad Sisters probably should have been a couple show, but I wanted to binge it. Don't tell him. He always tunes out by now. He has work to do.
Well, say, hey, let's sit down and watch this show together.
No, he can watch it by himself. Okay. He watched Silo on Apple TV by himself. Okay. So he has his Apple TV show, and I have mine. What are you watching at the moment?
Harley Quinn came back, so watching that. I don't know why I can watch Harley Quinn and I can't. I completely disengage Darren Kite Man, but that's where it is. I'm heavy on the Max right now because I'm Bookie. I'm watching Bookie still, making my way through that. New episodes drop every Thursday, so they're in the middle of season 2. And listen, if you want to laugh, the Jim Gaffigan. Who's touring with Jim Gaffigan? Why am I blanking on? But the guy,
know Jim Gaffigan.
The guy touring with Jim Gaffigan is the star of Bookie, and it's really, really good.
Oh,
it's really good. So that we are still making our way through the Lisa Frank documentary and through the Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Which how she continues to. It's really sad at this point. At one point, the documentary, the first season was, well, is this a grown-ass woman? Like, what is going on here? There was a mystery component to it. Now it's just abuse of a handicapped person at this point. And it is sad. Now, I came away from season 1 of Curious Case of Natalia Grace curious, right? Like, that's why it's called that. Trying to solve the mystery. Was this person a grown-up?
It's in the title.
Right? Was this person a grown-up or were they not a grown-up? And then season 2, they do a really good job of making it clear she wasn't.
Not a grown-up.
And so I left season 2 infuriated because how could you treat somebody like this? This is terrible. And the start of season 3, I am so sad for her. At some point, man, you've got to find a way. Somebody's got to find a way to step in there and say, okay, for her sake, we've got to help her out. She's got legit trauma, and wherever she ends up, they only want to use her. They only want to take her money from her. Like, it is bad. It makes me, like, and you know how cold my heart can be.
Often.
Like, it makes me, like, tear up a little bit. So yeah, those
and then
are
it gets
things
to the
I'm
point
watching.
of like, where does she go from here?
There's nothing. We don't.
There's
because
no horizon of happiness for Natalia Grace.
she's grown at this point, and we don't have enough services for grown people who legitimately need help. So that show, and I'm making my way through Yu-Gi-Oh. I figured that I saw some clips on the TikTok, RIP, but not really, from the Shadow Realm. I was like, I remember watching the Shadow Realm saga of Yu-Gi-Oh! Enthralled. Like, yo, this might be the best animated anything I've ever seen. I want to know if I feel that way now. So I'm starting Yu-Gi-Oh! From start, and I'm gonna stop watching it because it's many seasons after the Shadow Realm stuff. But I'm gonna stop after the Shadow Realm to see if it's any good. I will say they are so twerpy in that damn show. Oh my gosh, makes me want to punch a bunch of kids in the face. It's terrible.
The bookie dude is Sebastian Maniscalco.
Okay.
Maniscalco.
He plays on that Italian thing in the most hilarious of ways on the show.
He was in Green Book.
Never saw it.
One of the. Did that win Best Picture?
I think it did. Was it a Black Savior movie?
It's a white savior.
Oh, was it? Well, excuse me. I get my Magical Black Negroes and the White Savior movie. It was a White Savior.
It did
movie.
win Best
Yeah,
Picture.
it won. It's driving Miss Daisy for a different generation. Why wouldn't it win?
They're saying that Amelia Perez, the one that's streaming on Netflix, the musical movie, that it's winning everything. But any human I know who has watched it, except for one, has despised it. But they're putting it in similar fashion of like a Green Book win or the year that La La Land had so much energy. But then La La Land lost to Moonlight, even though they originally said that La La Land won. That was the whole switcheroo mistake situation. Anyway, I told Chris we were going to watch Amelia Perez tonight, and he said, no, we're not. So I think I'm going to be watching that one on my own. You watched SNL. Did you watch the whole episode?
Yeah, I watched everything.
Is it worth going back? I fell asleep after the second sketch.
Yes.
Okay.
But because you didn't make it to, if you fell asleep after the second sketch, you didn't do Weekend Update, which was pretty good. And I'm trying to think. Oh, you didn't do the balloon pop thing. Which why in the hell is this a thing? When did we start doing the whole balloon pop?
Oh, I saw that. That one popped up on Twitter.
It's not near as many sketches in there because that opening monologue
was 17 minutes long.
It's so long.
Yeah.
And it's such a good monologue.
It's really good.
It's such a good one.
Yeah.
I thought that from that monologue, I felt like Chappelle's joke about the pores was really, really funny. I thought that there were some jokes in there that come off as mean, but sometimes that's how jokes are. But it's clear, right? Like, oh, it's a joke. Laugh. It's okay to laugh. There were a couple of laughs like, oh, I can't believe he said something like that, but it was still really, really funny. The immigrant father sketch is my favorite, like, returning
I haven't
sketch.
watched it. This one.
So yeah, then you need to sit down and watch it. I thought that was a really good one as well. And I enjoyed Glow's performance, and I usually fast forward through those. I thought she did a good job.
I saw she popped up in the balloon sketch too.
Yes.
And the one thing I saw from her, I was like, oh, that's a little Memphis right in the middle of SNL, which was nice to see. I'm gonna go back and at least watch Glow. I would have loved for Glow to be on this RiverBeat. She's probably too big at this point because didn't she perform? She performed the last year of Memphis in May,
right?
And that was like right as she took off. But I would have killed to see her and Missy Elliott together.
If you've done it
just for a second,
if you've done it recently, you don't want to keep doing it. What did you think about the parts of SNL? I combined Chappelle and SNL. What did you think?
I didn't love the opening. I didn't like the cold open.
Yeah,
I'm bored of that. Like we get it. Yeah. Like I understand your point, but I don't need to watch MSNBC in my real life, and I don't need to watch sketches about MSNBC at this point. But I thought Chappelle was great. I thought it was such a representation of, and I understand how he makes a lot of people mad often by joking about things, and occasionally has punched down at various communities. Like it is frustrating having to grab onto those of the past and then watch him so geniusly go through that monologue in the way that he did on SNL, because to be able to combine the jokes in all varieties, and then throw in Jimmy Carter, and then throw in a plea to the President of the United States to think about and to act upon everyone who lives in this country, was just, that's what Chappelle does best. Like, he storytells, he ties things together in such a smart way while also making you laugh, which not a lot of people can do these days.
The baby oil joke was good, and him being ugly, realizing that he was ugly was
and again, like, of course, that's we're talking about what happened at those Diddy parties was horrific.
But
period.
you don't make the joke about that. You make it about you. And
yes.
Listen,
I thought he got back to, in my opinion, he got back to making the jokes in a way that I really appreciated, that I thought were good. And a lot of it comes back to making the joke on him.
It's a whole lot easier to crack jokes at people who it's okay to laugh at, right? We just, for whatever reason, with the trans community,
I just desperately wish he hadn't gone on his streak of refusing to back down and, in fact, doubling down over and over on the jokes about the trans community, especially given where we sit right now with that. Like, they are a small percentage of people in this country and in the world, and that hangs over just a little bit. Even I still love Chappelle. I would go to a Chappelle show. I'm not going to sit here and lie. And I really liked his monologue, but I can never get that out of the back of my head. It just frustrates me.
They're people for now. Didn't the homie sign like an executive order?
That's what I mean. Like, it's horrible. And seeing the response of the people in my life who I know who are, like, scared for their lives. That's a horrible place to be on this day. That's not a very positive place to end the show,
Jessica,
CJ.
You've got to be more positive.
The queen of positivity in 2025.
You're not.
Finding the light.
You're not.
Finding community through chaos, as was the theme of this year's MLK Day at the National Civil Rights Museum. It was a wonderful day yesterday at FedEx Forum. Good to see the Grizzlies get a win. Tomorrow will be another Grizzlies game day. Oh, I know we can end on a positive note. Can we show the girl driving the golf cart? I know you have a meeting. We're 3 minutes late to your meeting.
This is great.
But it's worth it.
I'm going to miss the meeting to talk about this shit.
This is after Ohio State
She did it on
wins
purpose.
the national
Bow.
championship.
Yep. Flip it. Well, don't flip it. I don't want anybody hurt.
Reverse it. Oh, she can't. It's stuck.
She can't.
Ryan Day's like, you have got to be kidding.
What are you going to do? You think you're strong enough, Mr. Security Officer, to pull
move
that
the
thing, to move that big-ass, thick-ass cart?
Is Ryan Day the last one to get out of the cart?
Yes.
I hate that. I take my apology back. Get out and help.
Get out and help.
Poor girl.
Do what?
That poor girl. She's not helping my kind say that we're bad drivers. She's not helping me. She's not helping me come to my husband and say, no, we're not. We can park. We can drive. Not always well.
No.
I was a golf cart driver for various internships. That's the scariest job that you can have for that reason. That could have been me. Chris, somebody toppled a golf cart. I don't want to irresponsibly put this on my husband. Somebody toppled a golf cart with Bob Costas in the golf cart at the 2012 Olympics when we were interns there, and I cannot remember who it was, but it was a huge story, and that intern never got the keys back to the cart.
We can't now. I don't want to end the show. I want to know more about this story, but we got to end the show.
Sorry, you have a meeting. Bye.